All right, today's the 3rd of June. Got some hives to check. We had about probably 3 weeks of dearth, and then 4 days ago they started putting in nectar again, heavy. So I've got supers on top of some of the hives, and if it was earlier in the spring, I'd be putting more on. But since it's late, and I'm worried about the dearth starting soon, it's supposed to be dry this week, and it could run out, so they could smoke's killing me. Could run out that of nectar to put in. You put another box on, they could fill up 2 boxes halfway instead of filling up the box that they got all the way. So I'm kind of watching daily for the flow and seeing how it goes. If they get it filled up, then I'll put another box on it then. So earlier in the spring, if they got as full as they got now, I would stop and put more supers on for sure, but it's getting a little late. Got 2 hives down here. It was donated to our beekeeping club. We got 3 actually. Let's see, that one there is one of them. The bottom boards didn't hold up too well for the move. I've checked that other one. I want to check these 2 here. I still got my trailer sitting here where I unloaded them after dark the other night. We'll check them, see what they look like. They were heavy, so they might need another super. I don't know. They wasn't real happy when we brought them home. Of course, we was jostling them around. Got stung a little bit, but not too bad. Looks like they got a super on here. He's got a queen excluder right there, I can see. And then super without, doesn't have any honey in the super. It's completely empty. Take this box and look in the brood chamber a little bit. Sometimes they're reluctant to go through the excluder without a good reason. There's brood up there, stuff up there, a reason for them to go up there, draw a comb. They're reluctant to go after foundation. Looks like this box is pretty well filled up. Sure, it's hot out here. It's supposed to get up to 90 today. It's probably, I think it's 10:30 when I come out here. So I'm trying to get out here and get this done while it's cooler. Supposed to get up to 92, I think, today, and then maybe 90 or so tomorrow, and then by Wednesday be down in the 70s. It does get hot. I think there's a lot of reasons. You see a lot of beekeepers come in. You see a lot of new beekeepers. You don't see too many that's been around a long time. I think a lot of them don't realize the amount of work and don't realize how hot it's going to be doing the work, because it does get hot. So we got brood, not a great pattern. Got the honey band. We talked a little bit about the honey band. Somebody asked what keeps queens from moving up into the super and laying brood, which is what this is, into the super. But in a normal hive, they'll have a honey band, and that's what this is right here, is the honey band. So they'll have a honey band, then they'll have pollen, and then they'll have brood underneath that. Normally, the queen won't go past that honey band and go up into the supers. So you wouldn't have to worry. He's got a queen excluder on there, but shouldn't have to worry about that, about having one of those, because we got this nice honey band there. This you shouldn't cross. There's a lot of burcomb in here. In between these boxes. Might see if we can get rid of some of that. I usually try to keep my hives and frames cleaned out as much as I can, because the more burcomb you have in here, the more bees you're going to kill, the harder it is to check your hive. Just makes everything more difficult. All this here is burcomb stuck between these frames. I always try to keep that cleaned out as good as possible. You can tell by how hard these boxes are to get apart too, that they're stuck together with that burr cone. It's gonna be a mess. Tell the top box is heavy and the bottom box is light. Might have to get gloves on. It's a good time to check for mites too, because they've got drone brood that's not capped. That's kind of tore apart because of our manipulation. So you can tell this is a little bit older comb because it's darker. Got honey in here. There's a mite right there. I don't know if you can see it. Just went around on the other side of that. There's a mite I see on that one here. No. Get off. Look. So it does have some mites. There's a mite right there. Hopefully you can see that red dot on that drone larva. That's a mite. If this were a new comb, it'd be more white. Until it's older comb because it's dark. So that's got that smoothed down, so that'll help us when we manipulate the hive. I know it has a queen because I got drone, or I got cat brood. So I know it has a queen, so I don't really need to look for that. Probably just gonna clean off the bottom of this other box when I set it up here, and then close them back up for now. Not too worried. One good thing about, I did that first extraction early, and although there was a dearth going on, I didn't have too big a problem with robbing. I'm putting some wet comb here out in the ground, and they'll clean it up. They'll find it and clean it up. But I'm not too worried about robbing because we're not in the dearth. If it was later on in the year, I'd be very leery about throwing all this wet comb down on the ground, because it started a robbing frenzy in this yard, and they wouldn't stop until they had all the weak ones robbed out. It's best not to let a hive get this way. I try my best not to let my hives get this way. Sometimes it just can't be helped. I clean it up best I can before they get too aggravated. And since it's hot, I might just save that other inspection for another day. On the other hive, there's only one more hive that was donated that hasn't been checked. So I might save that inspection for another day and just check. Because I got to check and make sure these bees haven't filled up these supers that I give them. If they're completely full, I'll put some more supers on. That's a lot better. I say we start killing so many bees when we manipulate the hive and start pulling frames out from the top. That'll really help a lot. I do need to check for mites. Either that or I really don't need to check. I know they got them. I've seen it in that drone brood already, so I probably need to treat this hive for mites. Put something in it. Probably won't expect much of a honey harvest off of this hive. We'll just treat it for mites to try and make sure it at least lasts through the winter. Make sure it survives. Alright, Let's see if I can smoke him back in. I'm assuming you can see all them bees. Has a lot of bees in it. See if I can see any mites on bees. If you can see a mite on a bee's back, that hive has got a heavy infestation of mites. I don't see any right off with mites on them. See a little bit of pollen there. Don't see any shiny hairless bodies. It's black. That's a good sign. All right, I'm gonna close them up. I don't think I want them putting honey, any honey that they get. I think I'd rather them put down for them. So I think I'm gonna take that honey super and the queen excluder off. Not sure at the back for ventilation. We'll give them a stick. So they get a little bit more. It's getting hot. Alright, that'll be the last of our extensive inspections. Now we're just going to check some honey supers. I checked these down here last night, so I'm going to go up here and check these other hives. We'll grab that on our way back. Go check these other hives see how much I got in the honey supers. I don't normally use queen excluders, but I'm wanting to get as much honey as I can. I know I can feed back sugar. You can see this hive there right underneath that purple super has a queen excluder. They had brood. Several of the hives had brood up in the honey super. This way the brood can hatch out, and hopefully when it hatches out they can backfill it with honey and get 2 of honey off of that hive. And we'll see how it goes. Alright, those hives we just checked. I split those hives. These hives are still full strength. I haven't split these. So I try not to ever put my eggs in one basket with my bees. Man, that smoke's choking. Whew. So I split those down there because there's a lot of brood. In case there wasn't a honey flow, I'd have more bees. And in case there was a honey flow, then I've got these up here that's still full strength. When I seen all that brood in there, I thought they might be preparing for another flow. Bees always know more than we do about what's going on. But in case they didn't, like I say, I went ahead and split those so I can at least get some bees out of them. You've got to get what you can out of honeybees. You don't always get honey. So sometimes you just get bees. So you can either use them yourself or use the bees yourself, or you can sell them. Now see this hive, this is what they call white wax. You can see white wax in there. It means there's a heavy flow. And this super I just put on there, I think Monday is when I put it on there, and they've already filled it up. So I gotta put another box on this hive. I don't have a choice. Let's pull one frame out and see what it looks like. I don't know what they're getting, but they're putting something in. I think it's clover. Oh, it's heavy too. Clover, elderberry, and honey locust, I think. That was all put in since Monday. Full frame of honey, almost ready to be capped. I pulled off the foundation supers because I just wouldn't touch them. There was no flow and they wouldn't touch them. So I still got them, so I don't know how much flow they're going to get, but they got a super foundation now they can start working on. Takes 8 pounds of honey for 1 pound of wax. So when you put that on, if you don't have grown combs, it takes them a lot longer fill it out. But that'll be all right. I got a super honey there, and then if they just fill that out, I'll be happy with that. So I checked all those hives down there, but they were split. These are the ones I really need to check because they're full strength. There's 6'3". Added super foundation. ASF. I probably never remember what that means, but that's what it is. All right, this one I think I left. I think it was foundation, and I left it. But they worked on it anyway. Oh yeah, they pulled. This was empty a week ago, and they pulled it all out, drawn it out. All that white, it was just a sheet, and they've drawn cells out on it. Is what it is. What we mean by draw it out. They pulled all that white out on this honey flow. We'll let them go a little bit longer. Hopefully my phone don't overheat. This one they're still filling up. We're gonna leave that one as is for now. Yeah, see, they might have swarmed. They haven't done anything with that top box. You never know. I would guess they've swarmed because they're not doing as much as that other one. This one's not really doing anything either. We got 9 frames up for some reason. I got another frame sitting out here. Never, ever, ever leave a frame out, because you will forget to put it back. It holds 10 frames. Make sure you got 10 frames in there. That hive should be further along. That'll be a good one to inspect at a later date. 580 had 0 frames. It's got 6 frames, looks like. They're still working on it, so we'll let them work on it some more. This is another one of them that wasn't drawn out at all. Now you see that white wax down in there. This side over here on the left side, they still got some room, but they've pulled all that white wax out in just the past 4 days. So I'll let them, there's none on the top yet, so I'm gonna let them go ahead and fill that the rest of the way out. This has got 3 boxes on it, so we might take that off for a deep honey super, depending on what it looks like. Get over here in the shade. Alright, this one they've got almost completely full, it looks like. Let's pull the frame out on the edge and see. They'll pull the frames out in the center and fill them first. So if you pull a frame out on the edge and it's mostly full, then you know all the rest of them are in as good a shape as that one or better. Hopefully you can see that, but it's got some weight to it and pretty full of nectar. I'm gonna go ahead and put a box on this one too. This is just a frame of foundation. If they keep bringing in the nectar the way they are now, they'll pull this one all out, clean it up, pull it out. If we get the dry spell and everything dries up, then they won't. But hopefully there's enough time to at least cap that super that's underneath of it. This one's got 2 deeps, and they still got room on the edges, so we'll let them be. This one's pretty full. It can probably take another box. I'll find a box and put on this one. Alright, this is a medium foundation. Hopefully the flow lasts long enough they can get to work on that. This one is up super above its queen excluder, so it had brood in it. I shook all the bees down in the bottom box. So when that brood in this honey super, when the brood in the honey super hatches out, they can fill it back with honey. And it's mostly full, and they're working on it hard. I'm gonna give them a super too. Alright, I'm about to use up all my foundations I pulled off last week. Definitely for next year I've got to get some more supers going. I don't have enough. One of the most valuable assets you can have as a beekeeper. It's worth its weight in gold. Is drone comb. I bought a friend of mine out. He had a bunch of drone honey supers, and the next year we had a bumper crop of honey. My dad made sure to point it out. that if I didn't get all them outdrawn comb, I would have never had that much honey, and he's right, I wouldn't have. We had a lot of honey that year because we had comb supers with drawn comb in it that we got to just put in there and they could just fill up. Okay, this one's, they're working on pretty hard, but it's not completely full. I think it's, yeah, it's pretty light. So definitely want to give them time. Give them time to fill that up. They've got it all cleaned up and ready to go. Let's see if they'll fill it up. I'm trying not to smoke these if I can help it. I'm smoking myself more than anything. Because it slows them down so much when you smoke them, they stop working pretty much. Kind of ruins them for the day, a lot of people say, of collecting any more nectar. So if I have to, I'll smoke them. If I don't have to, I won't. Okay, there's still plenty of room in that one to work, so that one's good. Raise y'all up. Okay, this had a box of foundation, a deep with foundation. And they're working on it, but they're not doing great. But they're working on it, so they're doing okay. No need to do anything with them. Same way with this one. It had a deep with foundation. They're working on it. Not filled up yet. So they're not as overflowing as I thought they were. You never can tell. And this last one's got a super. I'm sure it was one we extracted. And we're doing pretty good with it. I've got it mostly full, it looks like, so I'll put another one on there for them. And we should be good for a little while. All right, I got them checked. Feel better about it. Worried about them running out of room. Which they were getting tight, and it's okay for them to get a little bit tight because I think the flow's going to stop. But they're not so tight that they can't make any more. The ones of them that were full, so feel much better about it. They should be good for another week. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you got any comments or questions, make sure to leave them below. This beekeeping thing is a steep learning curve, and it's variable. There's always differences. You never know for sure what to expect no matter how long you've been doing it. So if you got any questions or comments, please ask, and I'll see you on the next video. Check one more down here. They've got white wax, but there's still room, so might be the wrong decision, but I'm gonna leave them. This one seems to have room too, so I'm gonna leave them. I'll probably check them before next week, actually, because they're putting it in so fast. They can fill a super, and they can fill it in 3 days if it's a good strong hive and there's enough flow. So But we'll keep an eye on them, watch them every couple days, and go from there. So right now it's getting hot, and I'm getting ready to go jump in that pool right there. If you can see that down through there. There it is. I'm gonna go jump in there and cool off, eat me some lunch, and I'm gonna cool off, practice for retirement. I'll see you on the next video.